Live from KTVN Reno, you're watching 2 News at 7.
This isn't something that we wanted to do. It's not something that I enjoy doing. It's something that is extremely difficult.
Nevada's 31st special session is now underway. Legislators are looking over Governor Sisolak's proposal to cut about 25% of the state's budget, and that is tonight's 2 News big story at 7 o'clock. Well, today marks the beginning of the special session, and the legislature has to find a way to cut $1.2 billion from the budget for this fiscal year. Good evening, I'm Ryan Kennedy.
I'm Ariana Bennett. Thank you for keeping it here. Paul Nelson is live for us in Carson City at the State Legislative Building. Paul, the governor and legislature have some difficult decisions to make.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we talked to the governor today. He said he understands just how difficult this task is going to be. He says that he was losing a lot of sleep when it came to coming up with this budget. We were the only ones from northern Nevada to talk to him as far as TV stations go, and he says that a lot of those cuts are going to end up coming from places like programs, furloughs, and even layoffs.
Lawmakers are back in Carson City. Governor Sisolak says COVID-19 has forced them to make some pretty tough decisions on budget cuts.
Every single one of them are painful. Every single one of them, it's not just a number, it's going to affect a family, a person, an individual. I realize that. That's all taken into consideration, but our revenue just fell off the cliff.
What do we want?
Teachers and staff lined the street in front of the legislative building protesting cuts to education. Sisolak says if he could avoid those cuts, he would, as well as Health and Human Services.
Medical care, family services is extremely important to an awful lot of folks. We've got a senior population that relies on services, but education is an enormous part of our budget. There has to be something done there.
Lawmakers say they'll leave no stone unturned when it comes to balancing the budget. The governor says he and his staff did the same.
And I know they're going to go over and they're going to check what we did, and they're going to put their own opinions in there and whatever they get a sense for, but you know, we can't spend money that we don't have.
The governor says his proposal minimizes layoffs with less than 50 people losing their jobs. The legislature has to balance the budget, but he hopes help is on the way.
We're hopeful that there'll be some federal assistance coming. I know all the governors are talking to Washington and seeing if that can be made available, but we're not going to know that for a period of time. We're going to have to wait and see.
Despite the economic fallout, the governor is optimistic for the future.
Nevada is resilient, and we will be back. Our economy will be back. Our employees will be back. And we're going to fix this, and we're going to come up with a better plan.
Sisolak says it's not likely we'll see any new revenue in this special session. It would take 2/3 majority of the legislature to approve any tax hikes, and then it would take some time to implement it, so it would take a while before that money would start rolling in. And as you know, the state needs the money right now. Covering the story live in Carson City, Paul Nelson, 2 News.